So in my previous video where I compared the reboot of Charmed versus the original Charmed, I went over the powers of these brand new Charmed ones. But when I did that, I was only a few episodes in. After having finished the first season of the Charmed reboot, their powers got a serious upgrade. Hey everybody, welcome back to The Turnout. I am your host, Loy. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at The Turnout USAA, and go to our website, usaaudiences.com, for special event and movie screening invites. That's how you get into these movies super early. So when you think about Charmed, and we're specifically talking about the reboot now at this point, you have three sisters, and each of them has a very unique power. Maggie, who is the youngest, can read thoughts. Very, very cool. Melanie, who is the middle child, can freeze time. That is huge on a whole other level. And Macy, who is the scientist and the oldest, can move things with her mind. But once you get deeper into season 1 of the Charmed reboot, they start unveiling so many new powers and new abilities. And on top of even just their natural powers that each of them has, in episode 20 called Ambush, each of them got yet another upgrade to their abilities in that episode. Because the ghost of their mother comes and says, hey, I have presents for you. Here, take some weapons that will make you even more powerful. So much so that I feel like we needed to discuss this upgrade in their powers. So let's go sister by sister, because each of them really is very different. So Maggie starts with the ability to read minds, but this enhances to the ability to break mind control, manipulate people's emotions, and see and speak with spirits. She later gets a magical staff, complete with Robin action, which is pretty cool. And this staff allows her to focus her powers even more. And you would think that with a lot of her powers being more passive, this makes her a support character. But literally, she jumps into the fray and she's on the front line fighting really effectively. And even when she's not on the front line, the show has established that she's the sister that decided to go ahead and read the damn Book of Shadows, so she is also the kind of spell expert of the group. Now, Melanie's powers are kind of all centralized on the abilities to manipulate time. It starts off with her having the ability to freeze time and move within it before restarting it again. And that is already a really, really powerful power. Later on, though, she gets these bracelets that allow her to speed herself up or slow herself down, essentially manipulating time even further. She's also the best fighter out of the crew, and she gets like these pair of daggers that she just like pa 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 pa. Like she fights like a tiny ninja, a tiny Latina ninja. Macy starts off with telekinesis. Cool, she can move things with her mind. That is already really amazing. If you look at Lord of the Rings, this is the power that high wizards have. The wizard fight in Lord of the Rings is literally two wizards with telekinesis throwing things at each other and throwing each other around, because telekinesis is the most powerful power that ever powered. It is actually really cool, and she even learns that she could stop people's heart with telekinesis. She can just make it stop moving. Her powers start to kind of trend in the dark side, and the reason for that is that then you find out that she's got demon blood in her, so she can tap into those dark powers. She can cast these super dark spells that no one else can touch. She also has something called the dark side, where if they find somebody dead, she can see through them and feel everything about their death. She got so many powers that it was ridiculous. Now, of course, the weapon that she got in episode 20 was a yin-yang necklace that allowed her to balance her light and dark side. So it wasn't an active weapon, which is good, but what it allowed her to do was to wield all these really powerful magics that she had that she really did not have a lot of control over. And now all of a sudden, she can control them. And it's like, whoa, like it was different when she had them and there was the risk of there being some sort of backlash or something, but now if she has complete control over them, that is kind of the most powerful power. And I'm not even getting into the final episodes with the source of all evil, or even dipping into the power of 3 and all of the spells that they have just generally when they're together. I'm actually just talking about this group of Charmed ones as compared to the original Charmed ones, and just how in a single season, it feels like they just got like way OP. And honestly, that begs the question, Is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? I'm actually a fan of slower power progression in my shows. For instance, I'm a huge Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan, so let's take Willow for instance. In seasons 1 and 2, she was mostly just a side character. She was being exposed to magic, but she never really wielded any of it. In season 3, she started to dabble a bit here and there. By season 4, she's really good at it and can wield some really powerful magics. In season 5, though, she is bonkers powerful, which then leads to season 6, where her power grows out of control, and it becomes like a drug to her. And then going into season 7, where she realized her mistakes and there was that backlash, and now she needed to learn from it, and she's now back to not really wielding magic if she can help it. The magic became a part of the character and not just a tool for her to use, and I really liked the progression of the power scale. It wasn't like, I'm weak 1 second and now I'm super powerful the next. It really was a building of the character in a really interesting way. But in the Charmed reboot, they roughly tried to do a 5-story arc in terms of magic progression in 1 season, especially with Macy, and I don't really know how I felt about this. It's one thing for the Charmed ones to open up the Book of Shadows and find a spell that would really just kind of be like a 1-episode spell that they would use and then it would kind of go away because that's how that kind of Monster of the Week storyline works. But almost everything that the Charmed ones learned in this first season, they kept. And after a whole lot of episodes of, hey, that's a cool spell, I'm gonna keep that and I'm gonna keep using that, and hey, that's a cool spell, I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna use that later on too, their magic got to be a little much. Not in the way that it made it unenjoyable to watch. I still watched the whole season and I really enjoyed it. But in a way that every time they did get a new power, I was like, oh, really? They have another new powerful spell in their arsenal? Oh, now they get weapons? Oh, great. But that's just me though. What do you guys think? I'm really interested in what you guys think of the power progression in the first season of the Charmed reboot. Was it too fast? Was it too slow? Was it right on time? You let me know what you think. Or don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification. Check us out at usaaudiences.com. And I have been your host, Aloy. This has been The Turnout. Thanks for showing up.